What truly elevates a business school from just being good to being globally recognized as excellent and genuinely a force for positive change in the world?
Hmm.
Is it just the glossy brochures or maybe, a top ranking on some list?
Probably not just that, no.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into the hidden architecture behind that kind of real excellence, the rigorous AACSB accreditation
Right.
standards.
The stuff that happens behind the scenes.
Exactly. Our mission for you today is pretty clear. We're going to cut through the jargon and really unpack the essence of these AACSB standards.
Get to what actually matters.
Precisely. You'll discover how a school's unique mission and strategic plan are actually judged against these global benchmarks.
Okay.
What truly sets AACSB apart from other accreditations, which is quite interesting.
It really is.
And the fascinating strategic choices schools make to not just meet, but truly embody these requirements. Think of this as your fast track to understanding the real measures of a quality business education.
And we'll probably find some surprising things along the way. It's true, though. The official standards document itself is incredibly detailed. It's a deep dive in its own right.
Oh, absolutely. Dense stuff.
Yeah. So our goal here is really to distill those core insights, helping you grasp the what and the why behind what truly makes an accredited business school stand out.
Without getting totally lost in every single clause.
Exactly. Keep it focused.
Okay, let's unpack this then. At its core, AACSB International, that's AACSB, is a global nonprofit membership association, basically championing business education worldwide.
Right. A global club, but with standards.
A club with teeth. Their mission is straightforward: to elevate the quality and impact of business schools globally.
Quality and impact. Keywords.
But what's fascinating, and maybe surprising to some, is their overarching vision.
Yeah.
They genuinely believe that business and business schools can be a force for good.
Which isn't always the first thing people think of with business schools.
Not always, no.
Yeah.
But they see a powerful role in driving positive societal impact. And this isn't just, a nice statement on a website. AACSB explicitly weaves this commitment to societal betterment through all sections of their standards.
Yeah, it's really baked in. And what's truly distinct about ACSB, setting it apart, is its own internal rigor. It's not just an academic review of the school.
Oh, how so?
Well, AACSB's own accreditation processes are globally certified under ISO 9001.2015.
Okay, ISO 9001, that's like an international stamp for quality management systems, right?
Exactly. It means their own process for evaluating schools is held to the highest global standards for fairness, consistency, quality.
So they practice what they preach, basically.
Pretty much. Plus, they adhere to the Association of Specialized and Professional Accreditors Code of Good Practice, and they're committed to GDPR for data protection.
So it's a very robust framework, even for how they conduct the accreditation itself.
Absolutely. It ensures the whole process is transparent, accountable, and, well, high quality.
And it's a commitment that's been building for, what, over a century now?
Yeah, a long time. Founded back in 1916.
Right, with the first standards for business degrees just 3 years later, 1919. And then they added that supplemental accounting accreditation much later, in 1980.
Recognizing that accounting needed its own specific focus. Yeah. But the philosophy behind it all goes way beyond just, validating existing quality.
Okay.
Its fundamental purpose is really to challenge business schools, to hold themselves accountable for continuously improving business practice.
How do they do that?
Through demanding robust strategic management, ensuring genuine learner success, and fostering impactful thought leadership. The standards aren't static. They're designed to provide leadership.
And encouragement for change.
Exactly. Especially in this dynamic world, you've got demographic shifts, global economics, emerging tech,
Constant change.
constant change. And the reviews actually take external factors into account too, like government rules or even union agreements that might affect how a school operates.
So it's definitely not a rigid one-size-fits-all checklist then.
Not at all.
In fact, what ACSB accreditation truly demands evidence of is continuous quality improvement across 3 vital areas: engagement, innovation, and impact.
Precisely. And that leads directly to the role of peer review judgment. While there are clear standards, the decisions aren't just made by ticking boxes.
It's professional judgment.
Yes, teams use their professional judgment. Schools can actually justify variances from specific guidelines.
Oh, interesting. How?
If they provide compelling evidence that they're still delivering high-quality learning experiences and outcomes, even if they do things a bit differently.
That seems important, especially globally.
It's crucial. It allows for what they call an appropriate varying cultural lens. It recognizes diverse external factors, lets schools adapt strategies to local cultures or regions.
While still maintaining those core global standards of excellence.
Exactly. It's about principles, not just rules.
That flexibility makes perfect sense. Now let's talk about the underlying principles that act as the real compass for quality, the guiding principles. These are like the shared ideals and expected behaviors that accredited schools are supposed to embody, right? Guiding strategy, operations.
Yeah, the foundation.
So for instance, ethics and integrity are paramount. Schools need the right policies and procedures.
Absolutely fundamental.
And societal impact isn't just an aspiration. Schools have to clearly define their strategies, curriculum components, even their research that aims for positive societal betterment.
Make it concrete.
Right. There's a strong mission-driven focus, meaning a school is evaluated against its own stated mission.
Which allows for huge diversity among accredited schools. They don't all have to look the same.
No, exactly. They also champion continuous improvement, fostering that culture of always getting better and demonstrating financial vitality.
Can't stand still.
And in today's world, agility is key, demanding a future-oriented mindset, adjusting to trends quickly, plus a global mindset where the curriculum really promotes understanding other cultures.
All really important touchstones. So this raises an important question. How are these broad principles, translated into concrete, accessible standards?
Yeah, how do they actually measure this stuff?
Well, each of the 9 core standards in the framework has 4 crucial sections that clarify the intent and how schools will be evaluated.
Okay, 4 sections per standard.
Yep. First, you have the standards themselves, the bolded core components. These can only be changed by a vote of the Accreditation Council. Pretty set in stone.
Not that.
Then come the definitions. These clarify terminology, and they get updated annually by a policy committee, the BAPC, to keep things current.
Okay, definitions help avoid confusion.
Definitely. Third, and this is maybe the most crucial for schools preparing for a review, is the basis for judgment.
Basis for judgment.
Yeah, this section gives detailed guidance to the peer review teams on exactly what factors they should consider when evaluating a school's alignment with the standard. It's basically the playbook for how schools get assessed.
Ah, so that tells schools what the reviewers are looking for.
Precisely. And finally, there's suggested documentation. This outlines the kind of evidence schools should provide. It's usually more detailed for schools going for initial accreditation.
And less for schools already accredited, unless there are issues.
Exactly. For continuous improvement reviews, it's often less burdensome unless specific quality concerns pop up.
That structure certainly helps demystify what can seem like a really overwhelming process. So let's dive into those standards. They're broadly grouped into 3 main sections, right?
That's right. 1, strategic management and innovation. 2, learner success. And 3, thought leadership, engagement, and societal impact.
And meeting these standards, it not only leads to individual school impact, but collectively helps AACSB achieve its big vision-positive societal impact through business education.
That's the goal. Each school contributes to the bigger picture.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, starting with strategic management and innovation. This section kicks off with Standard 1, strategic planning. Absolutely. This is truly where a school's unique vision and mission have to align directly with the accreditation standards. What ACSB demands is a well-documented strategic plan.
Not just something sitting on a shelf.
No. Developed through a robust, collaborative process, key stakeholders involved, and articulating a clear, focused mission. Your mission is your school's North Star, basically.
Defining who you are,
Yeah.
what makes you distinct.
Exactly. The plan also needs to identify your strategies, the big picture directions, and your expected outcomes, the broad impact you aim for.
To track it, right?
Critically, yes, consistent monitoring of progress, communication back to stakeholders, and even a formal risk analysis with mitigation plans.
Thinking ahead about what could go wrong.
Yeah. The plan outlines who you serve, how you'll ensure a high-quality learner experience, your approach to faculty recruitment and retention,
All the core operational stuff.
and how you'll contribute to thought leadership through research. And crucially, for societal impact, the strategic plan must explicitly identify focus areas.
Not just vaguely mention it.
No, specific areas where the school will drive positive societal impact, including how it will allocate its resources, people, and money to actually achieve this.
So, building on that strategic blueprint, Standard 2 addresses physical, virtual, and financial resources. This standard looks at how schools manage these essential assets.
Makes sense. You need the tools to do the job.
Right. Are your physical learning spaces, libraries, tech labs actually fostering a high-quality environment? Is your virtual infrastructure, your tech, robust enough for online learning, hybrid, faculty research?
All delivery modes.
All modes. And critically, are your financial resources adequate? Can you operate at a high level and actually fund those strategic initiatives you just planned?
So it's about financial health.
They call it demonstrating financial vitality.
Yeah.
Looking at recent performance, sure, but also how you're getting funding, grants, private funds, new revenue streams, and you have to outline challenges and how you'll mitigate them.
So it's not just about having money, it's about strategically managing it to deliver on the mission.
Precisely. It connects directly back to Standard 1.
Okay, moving from physical resources to the people who actually bring the education to life, Standard 3 focuses on faculty and professional staff resources.
A really critical one.
This standard ensures there are enough qualified faculty and staff to support the school's mission. It makes a distinction between participating faculty,
Those deeply engaged, doing more than just teaching.
right, delivering the bulk of instruction, and supporting faculty, who might focus mainly on teaching, but this is where it gets quite nuanced, with faculty qualifications.
Yeah, the categories.
AACSB categorizes faculty qualifications, looking for a blend that ensures both deep academic rigor and strong practical relevance. You have scholarly academic essay faculty,
Typically, the PhDs staying current through peer-reviewed research.
then practice academic PA faculty, also terminal degrees, but they stay current more through professional engagement.
Bringing in that real-world connection at a high level.
And then scholarly practitioners, SP, and instructional practitioners, IP, often master's degrees plus significant professional experience.
And they stay current through things like applied scholarship, practice publications, or just continued deep professional work.
So a mix is expected.
A mix is definitely expected. And here's a key insight for schools. While AACSB has baseline expectations like needing a minimum of 40% of faculty hours taught by scholarly academics across the whole unit.
Okay, 40% SRA, that sounds specific.
It is, but the standard isn't rigidly prescriptive, especially for schools already accredited. There's actually a surprising amount of strategic flexibility.
Really? You can deviate from the 40%.
You can make a case for deviations. If you can demonstrate that your innovative or interdisciplinary initiatives still lead to high-quality outcomes, you might justify a different mix.
So a school focused heavily on, say, entrepreneurship might argue for more practitioners.
Exactly, if they can prove it enhances learner success and aligns with their mission. But, and this is important, schools seeking initial accreditation, they're expected to substantially meet these ratios right from the start.
Prove their foundational academic strength first.
Right. And beyond just the numbers and ratios in Table 3.1, this standard also stresses having systematic processes for faculty and staff development.
Making sure everyone keeps learning.
Yeah, continuous learning, evaluation, staying current with tech, teaching methods. It's about supporting the people.
Okay, let's shift focus now to the absolute core of the educational experience, learner success. This whole section is about making sure students actually get a high-quality, impactful education that prepares them.
Where the rubber meets the road, so to speak.
Exactly. First up, Standard 4, curriculum. This isn't just about what you teach, but how it's taught and what skills it develops.
The whole package.
The curriculum content has to be current, relevant, forward-looking, globally oriented, and aligned with specific program goals.
Sounds like a tall order.
It is. It also has to actively cultivate agility with current and emerging technologies. Think AI, data analytics, whatever's next.
Keeping pace with the real world.
Absolutely. It emphasizes promoting innovation, experiential learning, things like internships, service learning, study abroad, and fostering a lifelong learning mindset.
Preparing them for continuous change.
And, importantly, the curriculum must include elements that promote positive societal impact, embedding ethical leadership, social responsibility.
Again, weaving that societal aspect in.
Right. Finally, it needs to facilitate meaningful engagement student to student, student to faculty, both academic and professional, creating a really immersive learning environment.
Which naturally leads us to Standard 5, Assurance of Learning, or AOL. This is crucial because it's how schools actively measure whether that learning is truly happening.
So checking if the curriculum is actually working.
Pretty much. Are students achieving those goals we just talked about? Schools need well-documented processes using both direct and indirect measures.
Okay, direct versus indirect. What's the difference there?
Good question. Direct measures are things where you can directly observe a student's competency. Maybe specific exam questions, a graded project, a presentation rubric, internship feedback based on observation.
Things you can point to.
Right. Indirect measures are broader things. Exit surveys, alumni surveys, employer feedback, even course grades overall.
More general indicators.
Exactly. But the most important part of this standard, the real key insight, is that the results of these AOL assessments must directly lead to curricular and process improvements.
Ah, closing the loop.
That's the phrase. Identifying where things could be better and then actually making changes. It's not just about collecting data for a report, it's about acting on it.
So if AOL shows students struggle with, say, data analysis.
The school needs to show how they adjusted the curriculum or teaching methods to address that.
Yeah.
Even brand new programs need a robust AOL plan with a timeline for gathering data.
And this applies beyond degrees too, like micro-credentials.
Yeah, it covers things like stackable certificates, minors, badges if they lead towards a degree, and even non-degree executive education if it's a significant chunk like over 5% of the school's resources. Quality assurance across the board.
Makes sense. Following AOL, we have Standard 6, learner progression. This seems to cover the student journey.
That's right, ensuring transparent and effective policies all the way through. From admissions aiming for diverse backgrounds
Okay.
to academic progression, transfer credit policies.
Wait, transfer credits, is there a rule on how many?
Generally, the principle is that the majority of the business learning for a degree should come from the awarding institution itself, unless it's a formal collaborative provision like a joint degree or franchise, where another school's work is formally part of the accredited scope.
Okay, got it. What else under learner progression?
Robust career development support is key advising, interventions for students who might be struggling, and schools must track and demonstrate post-graduation success
How do they measure that?
through things like employment data, grad school attendance, entrepreneurial activity, or even the societal impact their graduates are having.
And transparency is big here too.
Very big. Schools have to publicly disclose their academic program quality learner achievement, program quality metrics, and it needs to be distinct from the overall university data. Clear accountability. And tying directly into all this learner success is Standard 7, teaching effectiveness and impact. This isn't just about if faculty are qualified, but how well they actually teach.
Measuring teaching quality.
Yes, using a systematic multi-measure process, not just student evaluations, those are part of it. It looks at the impact on learner success.
And schools need to support teachers.
Absolutely. Providing continuous professional development, teaching enhancement initiative, incentives for great teaching, and even remediation plans if teaching is found to be ineffective.
So faculty need to keep learning too.
Definitely. Faculty have to demonstrate they're current in their discipline and in pedagogical methods. They need to be prepared to teach diverse perspectives and show that lifelong learning mindset themselves.
And the impact, how's that measured?
Through learner success and satisfaction, of course, but also things like faculty credentials, teaching awards, certifications, and even scholarship focused specifically on teaching and learning SOTL, they call it.
Scholarship of Teaching and Learning.
Yeah.
Okay, continuous improvement for educators too.
That's the idea.
Now, let's transition to how schools make a difference beyond the direct teaching through thought leadership and engagement, which seems to connect directly to that bigger societal impact goal.
Right, moving beyond the classroom walls.
Let's unpack Standard 8, Impact of Scholarship. The core idea here seems to be that faculty must collectively produce high-quality, impactful intellectual contributions.
Not just papers, but impactful contributions.
Right. Contributions that, over time, develop into mission-consistent areas of thought leadership for the school.
So it connects back to the school's unique mission again.
Always. ACSB defines 3 main types of these intellectual contributions, or ICs. There's basic or discovery scholarship,
Pushing the boundaries of knowledge, fundamental research,
then applied or integrative application scholarship,
which is more about solving real-world problems, applying knowledge.
and finally, teaching and learning scholarship, that SOTL we just mentioned.
Advancing how we teach business effectively.
And these ICs are further categorized by their level of peer or expert review, from top-tier peer-reviewed journal articles down to other reviewed works like conference papers or even things like presentations.
So there's a hierarchy of sorts.
Sort of, but here's the crucial, maybe surprising insight from AACSB. It's not just the count of peer-reviewed articles that's paramount.
Oh, what matters more then?
The outcomes and the impact. The real question AACSB asks is, How are these intellectual contributions connected to solving real-world issues?
Ah, so it's about relevance and application.
Exactly. This means a school with maybe fewer pure academic papers, but more demonstrable solutions to pressing global problems could actually be seen as more impactful in AACSB's eyes.
That's a significant shift from just counting publications.
It really is. Schools are expected to collaborate with external stakeholders, businesses, nonprofits, government to create credible, relevant, and timely knowledge.
Making research useful.
And importantly, their research portfolio must contain examples of scholarship with demonstrable positive societal impact. They actively encourage interdisciplinary work, too.
Tackling big, complex problems often requires that.
And they want schools to guard against predatory journals, those fake or low-quality publications that undermine research integrity.
Right, ensuring the quality is genuine. Schools provide a 6-year portfolio of these ICs in Table 8-1, analyze its alignment with mission, measure quality, and analyze impact. Complementing that scholarship focus is Standard 9, engagement and societal impact. This is where schools demonstrate their tangible commitment to making a positive difference out in the world.
So moving from research impact to broader engagement impact.
Precisely. They're required to show positive societal impact through internal and external initiatives and order activities, always consistent with their unique mission.
So again, tailored to the school.
Always. Schools have to define their aspiration for societal impact and then measure their progress over a 6-year period with clear plans for the future.
Measure progress. How?
Well, the expectation is that over time, a greater proportion of faculty, learners, and even organizational units will contribute to this societal impact. Measurement comes through concrete exemplars of societal impact arising from engagement with non-academic stakeholders.
Like community projects, partnerships.
Exactly. Maybe things aligned with global frameworks like the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or maybe focusing on specific areas the school has chosen itself. They can detail this in an optional Table 9-1.
Okay, so putting it all together, what does this all mean for the business schools themselves? Given the depth and breadth of these standards, it must present some real challenges.
Oh, absolutely. It's not easy meeting these consistently.
For one, there's just the constant pressure of adapting to rapid change, right? Continuously updating curriculum, faculty skills.
Keeping up with emerging tech,
Yeah,
global forces, it's relentless.
yeah. And resource management must be huge, ensuring that sustained financial vitality, having the right physical and virtual resources.
Especially in what can be a pretty challenging economic climate for higher education.
And then there's that delicate balancing act with faculty we talked about, maintaining those required ratios like the 40% essay minimum.
While also fostering innovation and needing to make compelling cases for strategic deviations. It's like a constant juggling act for deans.
Academic Tetris, maybe?
Yeah.
And moving beyond simple outputs like just counting things to truly measuring impact, that seems like a major hurdle.
It really is. Demonstrating the real-world impact of scholarship, the true effectiveness of teaching, the school's overall societal contributions. That requires sophisticated, often qualitative measurement. It's much harder than just counting papers.
Right.
And for a global organization like AACSB, that balancing act between global standards and local needs is a continuous challenge for the schools.
Applying adaptive strategies for different cultures while maintaining that core quality benchmark.
Exactly. And for Learn to Success, implementing those robust assurance of learning systems that truly lead to continuous improvement.
Especially with new things like microlearning or competency-based education popping up.
It demands significant effort, innovation, and faculty buy-in to make AOL really meaningful and not just a compliance exercise.
And finally, there's that constant demand for transparency we mentioned.
Yeah, publicly disclosing performance data, consistently demonstrating adherence to all these guiding principles. It requires an ongoing commitment, a real culture of improvement and accountability.
So, as you can probably tell by now, ACSB accreditation isn't just some simple stamp of approval you get and forget about.
Definitely not.
It's a comprehensive, really holistic framework that truly pushes business schools towards continuous improvement, deep relevance, and critically demonstrable societal impact.
It's about that relentless pursuit of quality and accountability in a world that's always changing.
Ensuring they're not just producing graduates, but actually shaping future leaders who can make a difference.
And understanding these detailed standards, hopefully this deep dive helps you, the listener, to critically evaluate and really appreciate the immense efforts that high-quality business schools undertake.
Yeah, to see what goes on under the hood.
Exactly. It highlights their commitment to not just educating, but preparing leaders who can contribute meaningfully to the world, well beyond just the classroom or the balance sheet.
So, thinking about that bigger picture, if AACSB accredited schools truly aim to be a force for good and tackle society's grand challenges, here's a final thought for you to mull over. What's one specific global issue you would challenge a business school to address? And perhaps more importantly, how would you actually measure their impact?